we are going to be estimating the area under the curve y equals x squared plus 3 from x equals 1 to x equals 5 using 4 rectangles and the left-hand rectangle approximation method, Lram. The first step in this process is to draw in the rectangles. The rectangles will be drawn in a way so that the left-hand side of each rectangle will be the part of the rectangle that hits the curve y equals x squared plus 3. That's what makes it an Lram. Next, we're going to label each rectangle with a k value. K equals 1, 2, 3, and 4 in this case, since there's 4 rectangles. The next thing we want to do is calculate the base, or the width, of the rectangle. In order to do so, take the highest value in the interval, subtract the lowest value, in this case 5 minus 1, which equals 4, and then divide it by the number of rectangles, which is 4. So the width of each rectangle is 1. We're going to use our width and the starting x value to create a chart. So the first thing we do is we label k values, 1, 2, 3, and so forth. The k values stand for the rectangle number. So for the first k value, k equals 1, we want to look at which x value we are going to use for the height. So in the rectangle here, rectangle number 1, the left-hand side of the rectangle has an x value of 1. That's the part of the rectangle that hits the curve, hence we will use x equals 1 to find the height of that rectangle. For the second rectangle, we will use x equals 2. And for the third rectangle, x equals 3. So filling in our chart, we'll get the x values 1, 2, and 3. Which now leads us to a relationship between x and k, and the relationship is x equals k. To find the approximate area under the curve, and in this case it will be an underestimate because the rectangles do not fill in all the space underneath the curve, we will write the area of each rectangle summed from k equals 1 to 4, the area of each rectangle. But the area formula for a rectangle is base times height. So plugging in for area, we now have the base of each rectangle times the height of each rectangle for rectangle 1, 2, 3, and 4. The base we already know is 1, and the height can be found by plugging into the equation y equals x squared plus 3. However, x squared is not necessarily the formula we want to use. We will use this equation, but we want this in terms of k. So using the relationship over here that we've determined, x equals k, we'll plug in for x. So this one's a really easy direct substitution, just the x becomes the k. Now we're ready to evaluate. We break apart the sigma, plug in the formula for k squared, plug in the formula for a constant, and we evaluate 30 plus 12, grand total of 42. That would be the underestimate for the curve y equals x squared plus 3 for 4